Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. So today I want to do a champion spotlight on Baron, a Void legendary. Um, I think it's probably one of the earlier Void legendaries in the game, and as far as I'm aware, before I started playing this game, he was ridiculously overpowered and well in need of a buff. Or it might have even been when I started playing, but I wasn't really that aware of him at the time. So just aesthetically, actually I think he looks pretty cool, pretty decent looking champ. Raid do a really good job actually of the kind of graphics and the way their champions look. I think um, if I go into his abilities, so he's got some pretty unique abilities, and that's what I guess drew me to him, because anyone who gets him probably just needs a little bit of understanding of what the different things do. So his A1 attacks one enemy. Um, And basically, if he's able to kill an enemy, the remaining damage is then it then hits every other enemy. So I think actually the terminology here is probably not that clear. But the surplus damage, if the target is killed, will attack all remaining enemies. I don't think it's spread. I don't think there's there's you've hit for 100k, the guy had 80k, so 20k is spread. I think you hit for 100k, the guy had 80k, so everyone else should be hit for 20k. So I think everyone takes that same level of damage, and then that level of damage is mitigated by defense. But you'll see when we get into some fights, actually that skill I think is 100% busted. Only really in the arena, but it's definitely busted. um, if we look at his A2, again, it's actually it's not complex, but it's slightly different to what you'd normally see. So again, attacks one enemy, places the higher level of decreased defense buff, and for 2 turns, which is strong. This buff's guaranteed, so actually accuracy on this champion is not needed at all. Not in any of his skills actually, he doesn't need accuracy at all. And then with this attack, he's got a 20% chance of unlocking the secret skill, Sky Piercer, which I'll show you shortly. This is the default attack which Baron will do, as far as I can see, in any part of the game if you put him on auto. He'll always do his A2, even if the enemy has already got decreased defense, which is unusual. Normally, if there was, say, Royal Guard, if he's got another ability, um, once a decreased defense is already on, he won't try and redo that decreased defense constantly. So feels like there probably needs to be a bit of tweaking by Polarium there to make sure that if an enemy's already got decreased defense, actually he defaults to this ability if it's off cooldown, which is his Righteous Charge. Since this is A3, basically the ability scales with the number of buffs that are on the champion. And again, it's got a 40% chance here to unlock this secret spell, or secret skill, sorry. What I'll do when we get into some fights, I'll probably show you in the Minnow fight actually what he looks like naked, so no buffs at all, and then what he looks like when he's got several buffs on him, and let's see what sort of damage difference we get from this ability. I think this is the ability that was pretty busted, and they fixed this one. I think in turn for fixing this one, they broke this one. That's the way I'm seeing it. Anyway, onto his Sky Piercer. So this is his secret ability. Now, I mean, it's so random whether you get this unlocked or not. If you're using him for arena, generally you don't ever get to see this ability. But this one, again, the terminology here is pretty different from, I think, any other champion in the game. So attacks all enemies, so it's an AoE, deals pure damage, and it says here will ignore shield and block damage buffs. So deals pure damage. Now, on the face of it, I would probably be thinking, oh, okay, so he's ignoring defense. I don't think he does ignore defense. I think he only ignores shield and block damage. So they've almost said deals pure, and then they're telling you what that means. So the reason why I think that is because if I look at another character here, they've written terminology that says will ignore defense. So I can't see that they would then completely change the terminology here and have it mean the same thing. So with that in mind, I think actually this champion would benefit from Cruel Gear, Savage Gear, which goes through defense. And then lastly, he's got an aura, so he's got an increased ally attack in all battles, so good aura by 33. I mean, ally attack is probably, I guess, for PvP, if you don't have a speed aura, it's the next best thing. Um, I wouldn't use it very often though. I would only use it if I'm really trying to buff up a speed comp where I don't expect to take hits, or where I don't feel like I need to be faster than I already am. So okay aura, but I probably would never use him as his aura. So if I look at the Mastery subset, pretty much because he doesn't need accuracy, I've almost just ignored the support tree. So where I see him being used most is Arena and Dungeons, I guess, but pretty much Arena is his main place to go. I've set up Masteries to make me as strong as possible in the Arena. So this is pretty standard, I think, for anyone who you take an attack with, but crit rate, crit damage, easily the best two on these two tiers. This one's best, I think, for Arena. So when you've got full HP, you do more damage. This one's pretty useless really, but it's my path to this one, which increases my damage on my first hit of an enemy. Really important for Arena, especially with the meta at the moment where most Arena teams you're having one, maybe two turns. So that first turn is so important to try and get kills. And then really, again, you could probably choose anything here. This one's not that relevant to him for Arena. This one's good for me because I generally do a second person that will do a stun or a freeze. So actually it means my nuke guy will do more damage. And then I'm coming down to flawless execution for the extra crit damage again. And then on the defense tree, really all I've done is I've picked things which will give him a chance of a bit more sustainability. So things like reduced damage from AoEs in case I don't get to go first. 50% chance to remove a random debuff from this champion if they lose 25% of their max HP. So this one is really, if somehow I get in trouble, like a Hegemon or something like that, then at least I've got a chance to remove the debuffs as more damage comes in. Probably the reason really that I went for this tree as a secondary was for this ability. So 50% chance to counter attack when you lose more than 25% of your HP. So he probably will, anytime he's attacked, really lose more than 25% of his HP. Got a 50% chance to come back. I'll be going back at them with an A1, and A1 for me is his best ability. So really important on Baron, I think, to have this as the defense tree, tier 5. So if I just show you how I've geared him, really I've just gone for glass cannon, as much damage as I can. As I say, accuracy is not important. If anything, there's more accurate. Well, I don't need that much accuracy. I don't want that much accuracy. It just happens to be on the gear that I've got on him. I've gone for as much attack as I can get. I've gone for as close to 100% crit rate as I can get. And I've gone for as much crit damage percentage as I can get. That's the three abilities I'm looking for. If within that I can find some speed, brilliant. Because ultimately you do need some form of speed to keep him relevant in the arena. But that's kind of secondary for me. It's more about this kind of glass cannon approach. So if I show you the gear I've got on him, and ideally I'd have all cruel set with some speed on it, with the crit damage on it, or crit damage set, which I don't have any of on this guy, but I've got some on other champs. So if I just show you through the different pieces quickly, as you see here, crit rate, crit damage, that's what I'm looking for. And then if I've got attack percentage or speed alongside it, then great. You see a theme now: speed, crit rate, crit damage. Ultimately what I'm trying to do is build enough crit rate so that I don't have to have crit rate on my gloves. Here we go again: crit rate, crit damage, speed, and HP. Actually HP is pretty useful as well, just in case I do get hits against me before I get to go. You'll see here, because I was able to stack that crit rate on other items, I've got crit damage gloves. This is a real boost to damage. So if I didn't have this plus 80 here, that's what, plus 150? That's such a massive change to the amount of damage I'm going to kick out. You'll see that really with any of my glass cannon or nuke type champs. I've tried to do this type of ability stack so that I end up with the crit damage gloves. So chest plus attack. So again, it's that glass cannon approach. I guess if I'm throwing him into maybe faction wars, or if he was a regular dungeon runner for me, then maybe I'd try and get a bit more defense to do level 20 dungeons. But as he's mainly arena, it's about going first, kicking out as much damage as possible. And then on the boots, again, plus attack. I've actually got better plus attack boots than this. I've got plus 60s, but I wanted that stat there. That crit rate's worth more to me than another 10% attack. So crit rate was primary what I'm looking for. Attack was just a bonus, so that was there. You could, of course, throw speed boots on if you've got the same sort of stats here. But for me, because he's my nuker, speed's less important. I'm hoping my other champs are going to set the fight up so that he can come in without really having to worry about speed. And then if I look at the accessories, so we've got an attack ring, which is going to be best for him, with attack percentage, really important here. And hopefully then some defensive stats other than that. Crit damage amulet, really important again. And you know, if I didn't have the 40, I would still go a crit damage 33. That's definitely the stat you want here. The rest of them actually, so accuracy, as I say, completely irrelevant. So you're kind of looking for the other substats here, like defense and what have you, which is going to be more relevant to him. And on the banner, I'd actually prefer an attack banner. I didn't have one, so I went for the next best thing, which was a hit point banner with a decent amount of percentage attack coming out of it. It also had a good roll on speed, which helped me because my speed was very low. So if we then look at what that gives him in total, I get good Great Hall bonuses. I'm going to do a video on the Great Hall shortly to share with you the way I've built that. Good arena tier bonuses as well, because I'm at 3199 arena. And then you can see here from the masteries I've selected where those benefits start to come in. So he ends up nearly bang on 100% crit rate, 287 percentage crit damage, which is high. It's not like obscene, but it's high. 5k attack actually is really high. So, you know, as a champ, he's geared really well to go in and do an arena nuke, or to go into some of the, I'd say, mid-tier dungeons and clear waves, really. So just whilst we're in the review stage, I'm going to just go down this review page, and what I'll do is anywhere I feel like he scores a 4 or more, we'll just go and do a run of that particular dungeon, and I'll show you him in action. So campaign's a funny one actually, because he's insanely strong in campaign, but on manual. If you're going auto, he becomes, I'd say, a 4. If you were doing it manually, he's 5 and some. He's probably a 10. But for this, I'm going to go 4. Arena offense, he's probably one of the best nukers available, but again, on manual rather than auto. Spiders, I mean, he's just poor. He doesn't really bring anything to the fight. Certainly when you get towards the, top end level 20 stuff, he doesn't bring anywhere near enough utility or damage for that style of fight. Even actually, if you unlock his kind of special skill, it doesn't do anywhere near enough damage. So that for me is a 2. See some of these ratings here, they're quite old, I think, but I would completely disagree with some of these. Dragons, I'd say he's mediocre. He's pretty good on the waves. He doesn't really bring too much utility to the final fight. I wouldn't run him in Dragons as a kind of standard. I'd run a lot of epics before him in Dragons. Clan boss, he's poor. Again, that rating there doesn't make any sense to me. He brings the defense down, which is okay. He's got a single target attack, which does a decent chunk of damage, but otherwise he brings nothing at all. There's no way I'd use him in Clan boss. He's really effective in Minotaurs because the HP in the Minotaur opponents is pretty low, which means he can just go in there and spam kill stuff. So I'd say he's a 4 or 5. Force keep, because he has that defense down, he's useful. If you don't have that option within your team and you suddenly pull a Baron, I would put him in. He's probably a 5 for that. He can clear the waves well. He can clear the minions around the boss well. So that's a 5. Arena defense, I'd say probably a 3. I mean, because arena defense basically means you're putting him on auto, and I'll show you what I mean by that soon. He won't do what he's intended to do, so he becomes a mediocre damage champ. Void Keep, I think he could hold his own. He'd probably be a 4. Ice Golems, I just don't think he brings anywhere near enough utility, and he's too squishy, certainly for the sort of level 16 plus stages. Fire Knights, probably even worse. Every ability he's got is a single target, and he's going to be reasonable at clearing waves, but no better than, you know, even someone like a Cold Heart or well, loads of champs really. So I would take Epics over this guy easily for Fire Knights. Magic Keep and Spirit Keep, pretty much twos. I mean, he can clear the waves well enough. He doesn't bring anything that's actually going to help you with these fights. If you know, if you pulled him early on and he is your carry to get you up through the Magic Keep, through the Spirit Keep, then absolutely throw him in. But if you're farming level 15 and you've got a half decent roster, he probably doesn't feature in that fight for you. So there we go, there's a rating. So I think what we're going to do then, we'll have a look at campaign quickly. We'll have a look at Minotaur, Force Keep if it's open. I'm not sure if it is today actually. And then we will go into the arena where he's probably most fun really. Okay, so let's have a look at campaign first. So I always farm stage 3. I'm sure most people would understand that. Basically with stage 3 you get the best silver per item drop, and you get good level of experience. So that's the one you should be on unless you don't really care about silver. So he goes in. I'm going to throw him as a lead because it just boosts his damage, not that he's going to need it for this sort of set of mobs. Don't know if you saw my pull yesterday, but I got a new legendary, so throw her in for some experience. I'm leveling up my Husk for an arena video, so I'll put him in as well. And we'll just throw in some trash. So what we're doing here, I'll do it first on manual, and you'll see how quickly my Husk is too quick. That is annoying. Just let Husk do some damage. You'll see how quickly he clears a wave with A1. See that? One hit, he nukes the whole wave. Now he's going quicker. So if I then try his... Well, if I show you on auto, so it's... Well, I'll do one more hit on A1. A1 into any mob, clears the wave. If I press auto, he does his A2 on one champion, or one enemy, and we're then having to try and deal with the fight. So this is what I mean about he's great as a campaign farmer on manual, because he'd be very fast. He'd probably be the quickest champion in the game on manual if you could lock skills out. So if I was pretending here, I should have taken Husk out. If I was pretending here that this was from this point, I've hit auto, and I had an ability to just close these two skills off, I would go bam, see ya, bam, see ya, bam, see ya. And that is going to be probably something like a 7-second run. But because you can't control locking out those abilities like you can in some of the other gotcha games, it basically means he's probably going to be more like a 30-second farmer, I'd say, there or thereabouts. Easily capable of doing it. You'd have no problem just setting yourself up for the kind of auto farm for the day, and you'd have no worries about him clearing it, but he wouldn't be the quickest if you put it on auto. So that's him on campaign. I'll show you him in a minnow run. And what I'll do here is I'll show you him in a minnow run with nobody buffing him. So let's see if that's right. Take him out. So I'll show you with nobody putting buffs on him, and then I'll show you him getting sort of fully buffed up. I probably should have taken out a couple of my higher damage champs actually. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I'll rerun this in a second because these guys are just too strong. So actually, because he's slow, he's not getting a turn. Let's just wipe through this. So you see here with the Royal Guards, defense down goes on. He still goes in with that defense down ability, which I was saying about when I was going through his skills. most other champions would look at that or realise there was already that ability on and bring in the A3. So he goes in with the A3 there, hits for like 48k or something, um, which actually is not that strong an ability for an A3. But he's hit for 4. Oh, that's actually not a bad view though. So he's hit for 48k with no buffs on him at all. So actually we can use that. Let's use that, and then I will put buffs on him for this turn. So I have him as the leader. I'll bring in Warlord to bring up shields. I'll bring in my bad elf for 2 poisons. I'll bring in Ultan for a defense up. And I will bring in Seer for an attack up. So we've got loads of buffs running through this. So I'm just going to run this through on manual so that I can just keep these abilities I want ready to go. That way, when I get to the boss, I don't have to mess around with getting the right abilities on. When I get to Baron, I'm just going to use his A1 anyway, which should just clear the wave. Not quite, but done quite a lot of damage. Bad L will finish those 2. Get through this one. See how squishy he is though, so you know when you get into any sort of content that makes him start to take hits, he's really quite weak. That should heal him back up. I was hoping they might just stay alive a bit there so I could finish them off with this ability, but no, not quite. So you see there, I mean actually it didn't do obscene damage to these guys, his A1. When you compare it to what we see in the arena soon, you'll see that I don't know why, I think it's just kind of broken when you're playing against an actual player opponent in PvP. Is A1 and Kit just seems to be so much stronger. I don't really understand the mechanics of it fully. It feels like there's just a bit of a glitch in the way he's been built. So we get to the boss anyway. So if you remember when I showed you last time on that final bit of the boss, he hit for 49k on his A3 with no buffs on at all. So we're starting here, we've got shield, we're going to have 2 heals, we're going to put a defense up on ourselves. I'm going to do an increase crit rate, so that's another buff. And I'm going to do a shield and block debuffs. So now what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if this was Turvolt, he would be hitting for at least 200k with this sort of amount of stacks with that type of gear. So let's see what we get out of Baron. So Baron 86. So yeah, so the comparison there, I'll just let my auto now. The comparison there, so it does do reasonable amount more damage, but it's certainly not kind of a disgusting level of damage. If you see there, he's just used his A4, his secret skill, and it's an AOE skill, and it's hit for 130k. So if you compare the kind of max damage that you'd see out of a Seer or that you might see out of a Royal Guards, epics or even a Cold Heart, I know their ability reads differently, but it's for me it's not really that legendary. So with everything we've seen so far, bearing in mind this is the areas that he's probably most strongest in, actually I wouldn't put him in any of my teams. The only way he would get into my team is perhaps if I'm early game, I managed to pull a Baron early, and I'm just starting to sort of build up into the mid game. Maybe facing level 10s, level 11s, that type of area. But at this level, there's just so much better choice if you manage to get a few of the good epics. So finally then, let's just go into arena. So we've got a strong team here. Speed lead, fastest speed lead in the game. And then a Seeker who's going to be fast. So I'm going to put Arbiter in as my speed lead, just so that I make sure I go first. And if you remember, I've got a mastery here which makes Baron hit harder if the enemy is frozen. One of the great things about this champ is not only does he freeze, he also can remove any type of shields that are in play, and any other one other debuff basically. So that's a really strong ability to go, plus it should help Baron's damage. and then I'll just throw in Tyrell for the defense down. So let's see how this goes. So I'm looking to go first, obviously, that way I get the advantage and I get to use Baron to his right effect. This will give me a attack up. So I do have shields, so actually this is perfect. So he's going to go in and freeze. Freezes everybody, removes all of those buffs, which is really important. What I'm going to do here, so I'm looking to get somebody low that Baron's going to use his A1 on to nuke the rest of their team with. So I think this is going to be the person. I've actually killed him outright. Didn't expect that. But okay, so we're going to throw in a decreased defense now on everybody else. The rest of them actually are relatively tanky. So I'm looking to try and get now a weakness on Nephril, which we've got, which now sets Baron up nicely. So if I go in here with his A1, he should kill Nephril and then nuke the rest of the team. So you see there, I did 93k damage to Nephril. The other two did closer to 200k damage, which is pretty obscene. So in that one hit, Baron's done 457k damage on just 3 people, and one of them only had a low amount of health in the first place. So let's just run that again. Okay, so let's go on this one, 102. Actually got some good champions here, so Lysandra can speed up, Albert can speed up, got his defense down, got his nuke. It's actually a good comp. It's a good kind of sort of group to aim for. So let's just see what we can do. Let's speed up, freeze, go in and nuke the Arbiter. So Arbiter's now out of the game. Then I'll do my defense down. Arbiter gets another go, so I'm going to try and place a weakness here. Actually killed her outright. And then Baron will go in. See, look at the different health pools here. So actually, I'm better off still going in on this one because I think I've got best chance of killing her. Killed her, and then it went through and killed the other enemy as well. So we'll run same sort of thing again. This time, let's just take out the legendaries and perhaps go with a sort of more standard speed lead and perhaps an apothecary there to give me my speed boost. So this might be more typical of what somebody would have if they've got a Baron. They were lucky to pull a Baron. Perhaps they don't have the other legendaries to go with it yet. They might not finish the Arbiter missions yet. And we're hoping that we're quick enough still with this speed lead and apothecary. If you see here, so in terms of turn meters, Tyrell would go first even if I didn't boost speed. Both my Skull Crown and my Baron would be the last people to go pretty much. So the boost of speed here basically now starts to throw Skull Crown back in front. Baron's probably still a bit slow actually, so let's see how we do. I've got to be careful I don't just end up nuking them with Skull Crown, which is possible. No, so let's see if Baron gets a turn or if he dies. Going to heal Baron up just to try and make sure he stays in the game. He is, good. So we've got defense down on 3 of them. Ultimately what I'm looking for is the person with the lowest health, because if I hit with my A1 and it kills them, that's when I do the nuke. If I hit with the A1 and it doesn't kill them, then they're all going to stay alive and I'm going to die. So it would be for me between this guy and Zargala. Because Zargala didn't get the decreased defense, I'll go for this guy. Kills, and then if you see there, it went from a 50 odd K kill, the others got hit for 150, 80, 80. It was, it just seems to scale really weirdly on that A1. So if I just show you one more fight, this time I'll go back to my normal composition, but I'll throw this onto auto, and you'll just see that I'll do my usual composition, which would actually be Ghost Spawn. So you'll just see that A1, which is the nuke and the definite kill, if you then throw this on auto, I'll slow it down when we get to Baron, you should just see that actually doesn't do the same ability. So now we're coming on to Baron, and he hits with his A2 instead of his A1. If he'd hit A1 there, the game's over, but he doesn't, he hits A2. I should still win the fight, but actually, potentially it costs you because he's using an ability which isn't as strong. So look, that's Baron. I think as far as legendaries go, he is pretty mediocre. I think he's good fun in the arena when you're manualing and you can get those big numbers. It's probably the champion I've had the biggest numbers with from a single hit, which is pretty exciting. But in terms of would I want to pull him over a number of different legendaries that I've seen, the answer's no. He would sit pretty much, I don't know, maybe in a tier rating of, for me, overall a B, um, with only really arena offense being anywhere close to that kind of A plus, and that's literally only if it's manual, and really only for his A1. So compared to a lot of champions, he doesn't bring extra utility, and yeah, it feels like he's just missing something. And I think what he's missing is what he had when he was first built. That really sort of fun nuking A3, which now is pretty mediocre. So look, this was Hell Hades. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was informative for anyone who's got a Baron. And yeah, catch you soon.